or the question is maybe why the people need to be alone. No, not always. Only sometimes.
Only sometimes people allowed.
No. Why the people need to be alone? Not always.
Please say something. Then that.
Okay, but you understand what did you say?
Yeah, something alone, not always.
Okay. Actually, I think that people need to be. Oh, sorry, your audio it's with echo.
Please say something. I will understand.
Okay. The people. Oh, so, but my voice repeat with echo.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. You are on mute right now. Thank you. Yeah, I think that people need need to be alone sometime, because when the people it's alone, it's more it's more quality. It's with more quality thinking, because if the people always is with people around, the people not think. Actually, it's common see the people like with drama. Like with drama is wake up and take a breakfast, and the people take a picture of, about your breakfast and post in social media, or while in the street can post in media all activities. But I think it's not necessary that people post all activities, because no need post all activities or your daily routine. Actually, think it's more important take your time, stay alone, and reflect what are you doing in your life. What are you doing in your life? This is the this is best for the people thinking what are you doing in your life. Not all days post in social media your daily routine. And it's more health with the people take your time and think what are you doing, or reflect different something about, I don't know, that people have problem every day, and that people need thinking about what is the solution. But if the people have much people around about the about about day, the people not thinking well. For example, I am working every day 8 to 10 hours, and all day have people around of me and don't thinking well, because the people question and question and question all things. But when I was in the house, take my time to be alone and reflect what are you doing in the day. Maybe the people carry some problems and don't have time for thinking. And this is important, have time to be alone, not always with people. But the people need communication with other person, but it's necessary take time for myself, yourself. And this is all. Hello, Surendra.
Hi, good morning.
Good
Good
morning, sir.
morning.
So,
The topic is why the people need to be alone. Not always, but sometimes the people need to be alone.
Yes, yes. So, all have done.
Brenda, done. Please continue, Surendra, sir.
So, nowadays life is very rush. All the people are busy in daily work, like doing job, their job in office, 8 to 10 hours per day, or 12 hours per day, maybe. And when the people come to their home, a lot of conversation goes through their family members and with their friends. Means always mind made busy. So having a lot of busy mind wants to free for some time. If we go to free alone or lonely, sit at some place. In my culture, Vrinda, in Indian culture, there is a lot of importance to be alone. People, ancient time, people used to go in jungle and there sat years to years for thinking only alone. Nobody was there, and that is called in tapasya, thinking about their self and God only, nothing around them. And so, namaste, sir.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Brenda,
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Industry, Pankaj, how are you all?
Sir, fine, sir. Fine,
Very
sir.
well.
Good.
Very nice.
So, I'll come to that topic. So a lot of importance are given to the loneliness when people become lonely and they want to always thinking about their self. So we should we should have some alone time, like we should think spirituality about spirituality and think about something extra. So getting out of the crowd, so alone loneliness is good, I think. Then we get time for thinking about God, thinking about ourselves. So it is always. So I was saying that in my culture, Indian history, Indian culture, it always given importance to become loneliness and goes to jungle and sit around years to years by thinking about the God and about the how universe. So to become lonely, they used to go jungles. There were nobody around him, they were alone, and they have time to think about God, think about their self, and think about universe. So it is good to take time from the daily work and have some alone time, and there should be nobody. So for some time, but always become alone. I think it is like a habitual become. So it is not good because we are living in now modern age. So there we have to meet a person to person to discuss something and make conversation and going to offices. So it is not good. All the time become alone person. But find out the time when we can sit alone and think about ourselves and God. So I made my point. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the sir.
Okay, sir.
So,
So,
Avinash sir, today
Avinash
our
sir,
topic
today our
is
topic is
what topic is
what's the
that?
topic,
Alone.
Bunda? Alone.
Yeah, the topic is why the people need to be alone. Not always, but sometimes.
What do you mean by alone? I mean, there are two situations. One is by force, like when people are in the old age, uh, nobody wants to, they cannot go too many places, so they are forced to be by themselves. Another one is like when we all are here, by choice we can choose the time, right? To be alone or not. So which loneliness we are talking here? By choice, I guess by choice, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing you guys continue discussion, and then maybe if I have any idea, I'll tell you. I share my thoughts.
okay,
Okay,
sir.
okay, sir.
So,
So,
today our topic
today our topic is
people are trying
people are trying
sometimes
to sometimes
alone
like
life,
alone life.
and in our country
Our
we
country,
see
we
that in
see
our
that in
ancient
our
people are
ancient people always
when they
when
trying
they
to
trying to
do
do unique things,
I like
I
Mahabharata,
like Mahabharata and
Ramayana,
Ramayana.
we see that
See that
they want to
they
happy
want to
to our
happy to
God.
our God.
They,
They
first of all, they
first
go
of all
to
go to
jungle
jungle.
and lot of years.
Lot of people.
Amara sir,
Amana sir,
can you
can you
lot of
a lot of
sound is coming.
sound is coming.
Oh, okay. Hold on, hold on. Let me put it in the mute.
Please, please,
Please,
thank you.
please, sir. Thank you, sir.
So in ancient
So in
time,
ancient
we
time, we
see
see
history
in
like
history
Ramayana
like
and
Ramayana and
Mahabharata
Mahabharata
when
when
Ram
Ram and
and like
like
Arjuna
Arjuna
some
needed to some
unique thing.
unique thing,
They
then
want to
they need to go to jungle,
and a lot of
and a
years
lot of years need to
alone life
alone life
like
I like
tapasya
tapasya,
and after
and after a lot of times
done
done
tapasya
tapasya, then after
God comes
God comes
in front of
in
him
front of him,
and they
and
wish
they wish
whatever
whatever they want
as like this.
as like this.
Nowadays
Nowadays, it's
our
I like
karma
our
is
karma
very
is
important,
very important,
but in
but
ancient
in
time
ancient time,
tapasya is very
tapasya is
important.
very important.
And nowadays
And
also
nowadays
our
also
daily life
our
is
daily life is very busy,
always busy.
always busy.
So
So
sometimes we
sometimes
also
we also
want to
wants
how
to
to
how to
a 2 minutes life
2 minutes
as like
life I like alone,
because you know that
because we know that
people are
people are
social animals.
social animals. So
You can't live
Can't live
always.
alone always,
But yes,
but
for
yes, for
peace of our
peace of
mind,
our mind,
we need to
we
some
need to some
time
time
spend or invest
expand or invest
like alone.
like alone.
It will be
It will
very
be
good for
very
our
good for our
mind
mind
to refresh.
refresh.
Yes, Brinda,
Yes,
you want
Brinda,
to say
you want to
something?
say
Your
something?
history,
Your
no?
history, any history
Your
in
country,
your
Yeah,
country?
yeah. I see exists nine avatar, right? And one avatar is for reflect or thinking about yourself. Maybe it's a Buddha, right?
yes, Buddha.
Yes, Buddha.
Buddha is for thinking about yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay. And for me, be alone, it's a great benefit to spend time alone because help to develop better, more understand who you are. And I listen now the word karma. I see one video in the karma in India. It's like a memory. For example, you memorize better people when you see the people or you know the people. Or for example, the people eat a mango and you remember the smell or of flavors like mango because the karma permit you remember these things. But I don't know what specific is karma in India because this word is so usual in India. The karma.
Karma means doings. What is doing?
all we know that
all we
work
know
Like
is
that
worship.
work is worship, work.
work. That means work. Karma means work. Like
Oh, karma
God.
it's
Yes,
a
God,
word.
work. God always said that believe in your karma means believe in your work. What are you doing?
Okay. Because
Yes. If you,
I see one video. I said in India karma it's like a one type or kind of memory, but in Mexico karma is it's like you doing wrong things or wrong with any with other people, and over time it's come back in your life.
Here, karma
Here,
meaning means
karma meaning means
work,
work,
our daily work.
our daily work.
Okay.
So,
God said that karma is in our hand and result will come. Don't. Uh, I means result is in God's hand. So always believe in your karma. What are you doing?
Oh
And
yeah.
you can make your result. So
yes, sir. We
Yes,
have
sir. We
only
have
work.
only work.
yes,
Okay, yeah, I understand what is the same in Mexico,
I like.
but I don't know why in this video say different concept.
You guys are watching. What video was that?
Yeah, actually, uh, follow one person in India in YouTube, and I say the karma it's like a memory, but I don't understand why the karma is a memory.
Okay, so maybe I can try to uh, understand from my perspective what probably they are talking and what you guys talking. We are all talking the pretty much the same thing. So karma is not only the karma of what we do today. It is, yes, it is action, and we all know that every action has a result, right? It
Yeah.
will be good or bad. It has an effect. So cause and effect. So Indian perspective, in Hindu perspective, when they talk of karma not only of one day or 1 year, but it is accumulative action of your all previous lives. As probably you know, that in Hindu system, it is believed that we never really are born, or we never really die. It is cyclic. So basically, our what we in the call we call it soul. Like you say here in the West, that soul is immortal. Same thing in Indian system is called what they call it Atma. Atma is the same, pretty much like soul. So that is immortal, and that takes you can say that comes into temporary body of ours for a lifetime of, say, anywhere from whatever, from 1 day to 100 years or whatever it is. And then this body kind of become old and worn out, and then we leave this, uh, and that atma leaves this body, just like, when we have our old clothes, we are the owner of the clothes, and then those clothing, when they become old, bad, torn, we pretty much leave those clothes and get the new one. Similarly, as per the Hindu philosophy, Atma or soul leaves this body at the time of death, but it doesn't end there. It just jumps into another life, some kind of life. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be human being. And so basically, the soul is experiencing so many lives continuously, and uh, it is the karma is the accumulative of all the experiences, you call it, and that is what it is, the karma also. So karma can be a karma of 1 day, one lifetime, or several lifetime. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjun that you are behaving like what you are doing, grieving on the death of your relatives, potential death of your relatives, your family, because you think they are going to die, and you are grieving for that, but actually they are not going to die. Nobody, because your confusion is that you are associating them with the body. They are not bodies. You are not body. Do you associate it with self-wear clothing? No. That's how he explained to Arjuna that you are confused because you are wrongly identifying yourself with your body. But body is not the owner of self. Self is really the Atma or Paramatma, and that is always going to be there. It never dies. Never. There is no end. There is no beginning. It is always there. And so karma. He also says there that the difference between you and me is that when I took the human forms, I can remember. I remember all my previous life's experience, what I did in the last life or your previous life, and I. But you don't remember it. You don't even remember, like, our memory is so short that we cannot even remember everything what we have done in this life, right? We lose memory. So he explains that the I can see your life also, what you have done, what in the past lives, and so really. Uh, Nobody is killing each other. It's a kind of false temporary understanding, you can call it. and life always goes on. Actually, it is that philosophy, when you listen, then you feel like that really you don't have to do anything, because even if you do and don't do it, the result is always the same. So why to do anything? It's very uh, uh, so that is one part. Now, in the other part which you were mentioning about your perspective, yes, that karma is the more popular part. Is that it has been tailored in the society that, hey, do the good things. You have choice to do good things and bad things also. But if you do, since karma has a result, it is associated with something, result is going to come out of it. If you do the good things, good results will come out of it. If you do the bad things, bad result will come out of it. And those results of the bad karma you have done, that is going to haunt and come back to you one day. And you'll have to pay the price for it. So that's how I see that you all said the same thing. Pretty much, we all are trying to analyze the same thing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So,
So,
Rosni,
Roshan,
today our
today
topic
our
is
topic is
people are trying
people
to
are trying to sometimes
spend or
expand
invest
or invest
alone.
alone.
Can you say
Can you
something?
say something?
What like people like
Alone.
facing a
Alone.
time alone, that type of. Okay. Yes, in the modern era, most of the people in the like metropolitan area, most of the people suffer alone because most of the family member are busy in their phone or their personal life. Like 90% of people are in busy in their like digital like type of facility are here. So, but in the village, most of the people not prefer that type of time, like time passing in the like phone, TV. But in the metropolitan area, most of the people prefer. You also see the children also facing a loan problem because he's spending 6 to 7 hours in the school, then after the tuition, and then it's also busy in like a phone or TV. They not go outside to play. So most of the child during the childhood age prep at sea and facing that type of problem, and then the it's also impact on the health of the children. You see in the like 10 to 15 years ago their health problem, but in today's life you see the children health problem is some major differences between before or after. So like alone is the like major problem in our India, not in India, like all other state also. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan.
Amarji, you say the body die, but the soul no, never die. And what happened with the soul? Is it in other place, not in the air when the people die? But I suppose it's in a paradise. The soul rests in a paradise or in other place, not in this, not in this planet, or maybe exists in this planet is other place, but the human cannot see this place, right? Or what is the what do you think about that?
Hmm. Very good question. So I'll just try to counter the belief system a little bit. So don't be offended, because uh, every religion, if you think up to the time right now, uh, they have this concept of heaven and hell. Okay, Christianity
Yes.
has that, Islam has that, uh, uh, and then Hindu philosophy has that one too. So, I mean, this basically it's common that heaven hell concept we have, and everybody is trying to explain, but really the question comes that how can you quantify or describe something which is beyond your sensual knowledge or beyond your comprehension? For example, heaven or hell, it is just a imagination of the human mind. If I say right now, uh, I can say it because that is what is the proof. Is there any proof of heaven and hell? Can anybody tell me that? Is there just like, if I go from America to back to India, I can say I'm America returned. I have seen America. Similarly, if you go to India, you can come back to Mexico and you can tell, oh, I went to India. I had a wonderful experience. I saw a lot of people there, crowds and everything. Whatever you have not seen in Mexico, you can explain to them. That is a meaningful uh, uh, experience of the other world. But something up in the sky which we have no idea about it, how do you explain that? Same thing, it comes also, let's say that normally we see that heaven and hell are uh, up there somewhere. What do you mean by up? Why not it is down? Tell me. How do you know that it is up there? uh, why not down? If I ask that question, then there is no answer for that one. How can it be a single directional? It cannot be. It can be like all direction, it could be there. And also, if you look at from the scientific space point of view, there is no up and there is no down. Everything is in the space. uh, how do you define that one? Everything is suspended like a different balls, you can call it. And there is no up, there is no direction, no north south, no east west. So how do you explain that? So these are the issues. And so basically, that concept of heaven and hell, it has, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it has served a purpose for people who are not very inquisitive. A common people doesn't bother about this kind of discussion which we are having right now. They don't have, you need certain level of intellect to get into this kind of debate and discussion. Not common people indulge in that. So I guess every religion have come up with a formula or system to explain religion and way of our life or discipline necessary in our life, so that we all can kind of do good thing and stay away from doing bad things. And I think that's where I see a beauty of this concept, heaven and hell. That it tells us that if you do good thing, you will be rewarded. And so that encourages us, we should do that one. If On the other hand, if you do the bad thing, uh, we kind of a little bit hesitate because we know that one day it is going to come back to me. For example, when you see the fire, you don't put your hand in the fire because you are going to be burned. So you stay away from the fire. Same way, when this fear of the karma coming back to you, and you being one day sent to a jail in the dirty quarter of hell, you know, it prohibits, or I should say, it moderates your behavior. That you think twice before doing bad things. Say, for example, killing or stealing or anything like that. Whatever is not a normal for a social behavior, acceptable behavior. So that's what is the beauty of this, uh, in my opinion. Personally, I don't believe in heaven and hell like whatever is written in all the scriptures, in all the different religion. But I like the thought that it encourages us to do good or bad thing. That is one part of my thought. Second thing, you asked that what happens to the soul then. Okay, so uh, again, that is a controversial issue. For example, different religion is trying to explain that in different ways, or even different. I should not say simply the religion, but philosophy. For example, most of the religions, they don't believe in the incarnation or rebirth cycle. For example, Christianity doesn't believe it. Islam doesn't believe it. All I mean, Semitic religion, all three on this side, and even in the Indian philosophy, Buddhism doesn't believe in that too, which is a major philosophy of the Asian countries right now. So now it leaves only the Sanatan Dharma or Hindu Dharma, which is the only religion who really is believing in reincarnation. So now, how do they explain that one? Because it's not same question which I just raised. I mean, how do you prove that one that there is a reincarnation? So they have different ways of explaining it, and one of the explanation is by the Advaita philosophy, which is non-dual philosophy. It believes that everything is one. So, what do you mean by that? I should say, for example, let's explain. Let's take a tree, for example. Tree, you look at two ways. You can look at their flowers, fruits, leaves, stems, branches, roots. They are all, you can explain to them that if you look at the tree, somebody, like there are 100 people there, somebody will say that I see, when you ask them as a question, hey, what do you see? Everybody's looking at tree, but somebody is looking at only the leaves. Somebody says, oh, beautiful leaves. Somebody will say flower. Somebody say fruits. Somebody say the whole tree. I see it there. Somebody sees the roots. Somebody thinks that, oh, I see water in it. Somebody says, oh my gosh, it is giving in the night. Uh, it is uh, it is sucking the nitrogen and giving us the oxygen. So there are 100 ways, 1,000 ways. When you look at it, you can explain as far as our human brain can go to explain it. So similarly, in the philosophical world, they are trying to explain and different ways. And Advaita philosophy says that we all are connected. There is it's a wrong notion that that we are different. It doesn't accept the uh, recognition of you and me and Rosny and everybody else, or trees or animals. Ultimately, we all are the same. How do you say that? Let's take a couple of examples. For example, if you have the gold, and you make 1,000 different types of jewelries in different culture, millions of types of jewelries. I mean, shops are full of them. You guys buy it, right? Ladies, if they don't go to shopping, all mall will go down. Thanks to you, ladies, right? But
You're
but
right.
yeah, but underlying thing is one common thing. What is that? So gold, right? I'm just taking gold jewelry here, for example. So on apparent side, you have seen thousands of jewelries, but underlying thing common is what? It's the gold.
Yeah, the material.
Yeah, gold is the common thing. So if you keep analyzing further down, what is it? It's the gold. Similarly, let's take the water. Yeah, we have water in the rain, we have on the mountains, we have in the river, we have in the ocean. And so uh, when you look at the water, say for example at the ocean front, what do you see there? You see the big ocean, but ultimately, that underlying thing in this case is what? Water, right? So that is the common thing, that water drop is the common thing, whether it is ocean or river or mountain, everywhere is the water, but ultimately a drop of water is the smallest unit we can think of.
and then properties of the water is the common thing everywhere. So that's how they explain. So now it comes. Let's see what they are saying. Then they're saying that this body which you have, just like I explained earlier, this body is not the true honor of yourself. It is that underlying atma or soul which is the honor of this body, because it is watching everything, all the actions and reaction, everything we do. And then that soul or atma is all preparing. It's like infinite. It's uh, you know going everywhere. There is not a single place where it doesn't go. So and it has always existed everywhere, and it will always exist there. And then there was just like water bubble, just like we for a when we go to the ocean, we take that bubble, we make the bubble. For a while that bubble is there and it collapses and then it's gone. Similarly, think about is our life. We just appeared as a bubble and we will collapse, and then again we'll merge into whatever was the original thing. In the case of ocean, it could be simply like ultimately it will be water. In case of space, it would empty space what we have. We can call it a space, or we can call it simply the atma, which is the all-pervading thing they describe in this one. And so, so that's how they explain that this one is something, a underlying common thing in all of us, everything, uh, whether it is a life or not life, everything. And uh, that is that is that was always there. It is without any beginning or end. It's just like on the circle, there is no beginning and end of the circle. So this uh, this soul is always, it was always there or will be there. We have a temporary life, we come, and as soon as we disappear, this soul go and merge into that infinity, which we call it like single soul. The soul in our body is, we call it atma, and a collective soul which is a like summation of you all have run some mathematician here looks like, summation of all souls. And if you integrate that from zero to infinity, that is Paramatma. Okay, so dx in the integration, remember dx, you integrate, it become x, right? So
Right.
and so so if the dx become x, and that dx you integrate into 0 to infinity, that is what is Paramatma. Otherwise, we are dx, mathematical form. So here is the Atma and Paramatma definition. And infinity, what will happen to infinity? How do you say it never ends? It has infinity means it doesn't have any beginning, doesn't have any end. It is everywhere. So in other terms, that Paramatma or soul in mathematical term is infinity. And that's why that piece that is always there. We are part of it. We have a temporary existence, but ultimately, since we are part of the big thing, so it doesn't really matter, because we are always going to be a subset of that big infinite set.
Yeah,
I know
thank
it's
you.
yeah, it's
Thank
very difficult question. I mean, I'm trying to give you little
yeah, I try to explain with mathematics, but it's good idea. It's good idea because uh, the life is infinite.
yeah.
It's an
So
infinite,
basically,
and it's a
exactly.
different way to explain, but it's not problem because don't have
Yes,
evidence what is the
exactly.
hell or what is the heaven.
Yeah.
In my opinion, what is the heaven? I can explain that the air have different chords, and in the center it's like a lava. And for me, this is the hell because it's a center of the air. And maybe and maybe in the future million years this planet no exists, but maybe this is the hell for me, and the heaven is in the sky with other levels, but
Yes.
the human don't don't see.
Yeah.
So sorry guys for change the topic.
No, no, it's a very good topic. It's all related. It's all related because you know how it is related, because you cannot think if you are not sometime alone. So it's necessary that you need to give some time to yourself. I know we all are busy, but it's very important, and you can see the benefit. I tell you, a recent experience, which I want to return. I used to go for 2 3 months continuously to ashram here, and our teacher is he was just like most of us. He was a computer engineer in California in 60s. You know, doing just like making computer hardware and everything. And 60s was the time when a lot of gurus started coming to this country, and they started teaching Indian philosophies to American uh, young generation, and so like the famous among them is the founder of Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada. He came in 1967. There was what was them? I mean, there are many gurus. They started coming to this side, and they started preaching. And in the 60s, the young generation of this country had everything which they can, because they were the I mean, it was economically the best time in a way. Nobody, I mean, no other part of the world was as affluent as the United States. So, kids were getting everything they want, more than what they want. And so they were pampered in the school, colleges. They could have, like in high school, kids here in the high school had already car. Even now, of course, now we cannot give them helicopter. We cannot do that one. So basically, society is stuck. But 60s was when high school kids could own a car, and they normally start going to school, dating, everything, because car was very important for all those kind of social activities. And so they would ask their parents as soon as they go into like they become like 15 or 16. I mean, 16 is the age. Everybody by 16 they like to have a driver license in this country, and have their own car. That's the rule, kind of default rule. So in 60s, when these gurus came, the kids were young generation were frustrated because they had physically whatever you can have, a good family house, nice room for all the individual kids in the family. For That is also a difference from India. I don't know, in Mexico, India, we don't have separate room for all kids. In America, every kid as soon as they are born, they have a separate room. Even the newborn babies have their own room. That's how the society is structured. Kids don't sleep with parents. Little kids, even the newborn, don't sleep with parents. That is Indian tradition. But in America, of course, we Indian families, we don't follow that. But the rule is that normally they would put their little one also in the crib in the night, and they will have electronic gadget to watch them to make sure that they don't have any issue in that second room. They can do that, monitor by camera, this, that. There are so many things they can do. So these kids were frustrated. So these gurus started giving them peace. And in that process, this young man, our ashram teacher, he he came into contact with Advait philosophers. I'm forgetting name. What is his name right now? I know his guru's name Dayanand, but it was his guru's guru who was really pioneer in this country. So he became one of the disciple, and then at that time he was like married man, and then slowly he became interested in Hindu Advaita philosophy, and then he slowly gave up everything. He left job, divorced his wife, and become monk. And then he went to study Sanskrit, and then philosophy for many years, for like 15, 20 years, something like that. And now he's a scholar of Advaita philosophy. He's running a ashram. He was one of the favorite disciples of his teacher, and he is a scholar of Sanskrit now. And all the main important books. He has commentary. He has videos. You guys can watch. I have posted it few times on that one. So he, I, what I was explaining to you is a little subset of what he tries to explain us in the classes, Sunday classes. That's what. It is not my own on anything. It was just his explanation of things which he has learned from the guru, how it was explained to him. And coming back, what I was trying to say is that when I used to go there, we had a meditation class, and then we were asked to meditate also at home, giving time to yourself. Here is what I'm coming to. So I used to meditate for at least half an hour to 1 hour. And when I started doing that one, my wife said that I have become calmer, and he said that you look a different person. Very quiet, very much better than before. Not getting crazy or annoyed with every little thing, which is not the way you like to see. And she was saying, in fact, she wanted me to go every Sunday for sure to the ashram, because it was helping my personality and our relationship at the home. So there is an impact of the downtime, like when you do it, like take yourself. You don't have to meditate on God. You just meditate, like sit down, relax. You try to our senses, our mind is always trying to race, trying to get so many things. So what the teachings we got is that stop that race. Uh, your mind is trying to go all over the world, all over the planet, all the galaxies, but you force it not to go anywhere. Go just inside your own and try to make still it as if nothing is there. Very difficult thing, but you can do it. And so I'm still practicing it, but not very regularly. But there are people who do it like, they spend like hours in a day, 5 hours a day. So I'm sure those gurus, the guru I'm talking about, he spends quite a few hours in a day, so he can control his mind. That his mind is much better control, that all the unnecessary things which race in our head, you cannot sit quietly even for a few minutes. You and I have difficulty, but those guys, they say that they don't have difficulty. They can quieten their mind for long time. And when you do that, then basically I was trying to understand that what happens, what is the reaction. So now, I mean, he has not yet explained, neither I have asked, but what I see is that your brain is, when it is racing and is trying to think about all those unnecessary things, uh, you know to do that it needs energy, so it's sucking energy from yourself. And when you force it not to think about all those things, you don't allow your mind to race, then basically you are preserving that energy which is being wasted actually by this mind's travel to all over the world. So if I can give a how it is benefiting, so maybe that's what is my thought. I haven't asked, so it is just my analysis that maybe that's why you feel better when you are in solitude, thinking about nothing. Then your personality become better, because you have restored your energy, you have conserved, you are like a solar you know solar cell. and you have given energy to yourself rather than allowing that solar energy to go somewhere wasted, right? If you don't use it, then that you lose it. Sun is there, but so I see that as an advantage. So yes, solitude is very good, and it is proven because you have many traditions, Hindu traditions, Jain tradition, Buddha tradition. They all focus on meditation, and they all see advantage of it. So it's good that you take some time. You just think about nothing. That should be the goal. Or start with ultimate goal is like what they explain to us. That begin with like your brain has right now. Our mind is thinking of infinite number of things. So what we are trying to do to cut it down, go from infinite to finite, finite to like let's call it nine, nine to eight, eight to seven, family, work, those only few things. Then ultimately to two things, you and God, right? And then ultimately just try to eliminate even yourself or God, one of them, then you come to one. And then you can eliminate even that one. You try to quieten your mind to become zero. And if we can stay in the zero state for a long time, um, that is good because then we have not wasted our energy. Okay, I think I talked too much. Sorry about that. Back to you guys.
No, thank you for the explanation.
Thank you,
Actually,
sir.
Provide a lot of
Provide a
idea
lot of idea
regarding
regarding
our alone
our
time, how
alone time. How do I
practice.
practice?
yeah, practice because the people need concentrate in yourself. Because actually the people I like drama. I like the drama. Maybe post all activities or all daily routine in social media. But for me, it's not necessary post all activity in social media. For me, it's more important uh, try to think in myself and
Surrender,
make a priorities.
Surrender, sir, what are you think about this?
About what, sir?
Means how can we peace? Means alone. All people wants to
Sometime
alone some time
peace of
for
mind.
peace of mind.
But this is
But
So
the
this
let's
is
see. So
yes, yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So practice is
So
needed,
practice is
sir.
needed,
My
sir.
view.
As per my view,
Not just for
practice is
anything.
needed for any new thing.
Yes, yes. Actually, we should take time for ourselves also, and we should do some meditation. Where we should focus on our mind. Mind is very mischievous, and it is very hard to control our mind. Always it goes to the world. Some points it is not the if calm. So to keep our mind calm is meditation. So always sit down and have focused on your mind, and your mind to be focused on your breathing. So don't let go your mind to anywhere. Always keep force to focused on your breathing. It give us very good benefit, and our mental ability increased. So I think this process is called vipassana. So it is very good to do meditation, I think. So to be alone is very good for doing meditation.
Good morning, Vivek ji.
Good morning, Vivek ji.
Today our topic
Today
is
our topic is
Alone time.
Alone time.
Alone time.
Your alone time. Sometimes we want to spend
Our time
our time
alone.
alone.
What are you
So what are you think?
All we are
Because all
busy
we are busy a lot
our work.
during our working, during our daily routine. But for our peace of mind,
We need to
we need to some time expend or invest as like alone.
What are
So
you think?
what are you think, Vivek ji, for this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, good morning to all of you, and a very good topic discussed today. So, according to me, alone time is very necessary for all persons because at alone time we have uh, observe ourselves. It is a process of observing ourselves by which we calculate our faults, our goodness, our all other activities. We compare and illustrate the faults and increase our goodness. And some people never want to in alone time want to live in alone time because they always uh, want to take joy, much more joy, and they always want to live with some peoples. But for me, alone time is very necessary, and I have spent at least 1 hour of the day as alone time because at that time I observe myself and I also uh, recognize all my eligibilities, qualities, and also recognize my fault, my uh, badness, because if you want to grow, so these things uh, these things recognition is very necessary, and by which you can resolve the problem of persons, and you grow much more better manner. So according to me, very good thing. And also, as Suren sir said, you person have uh, alone time for meditation, because meditation is a very good thing, and by which we improve ourselves in different ways, and also mm, we uh, link with the spirituality. So that also affects our life, and we we have to quality to uh, take good decisions, right decisions. So alone time is very good, and it is also necessary to spend some time with childrens, some time with our elders, like our parents, our grandparents, because they also taught us some something about life, because they are much more experienced than us. So it is also necessary, but alone time is necessary, and all things have some part of our life. So these are thinkings about today's topic from me. Am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
Trivedi.
Yes,
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 Trivedi.
yes.
So these thinkings from me.
So, Amarnath,
So, Amarnath
alone
sir,
time is
alone
also
time
as
is
like
also as like yoga, parts
yoga.
of yoga.
Yes, it is called sadhana. So uh, there are, I mean, yoga is there are so many things. Uh, I mean, I don't remember. There are Ashtanga yoga, they call it, right? So Ashtanga yoga is not simply the 8 limbs of the body, but it's different things like yam, niyam, pranayam, which is breathing exercise, dharana. There are 8 different things. Maybe we can discuss that one some other time on that one. Maybe somebody can. So it's a very comprehensive, and actually we all don't have that much time to do. Uh, there is so detailed uh, information and practice that if you do it, yes. I mean, all the yogis, you see their faces, how they look like glowing because they spend a lot of time in meditation. So exercise is also part of the yoga, but that is for the physical. So we have to do exercise for physical and mental. Physical is all those things, hot yoga, but mental is pranayam, samadhi, and sadhana. All these are part of that one, and both are necessary. And how much, whatever time. I mean, sky is the limit. We should do whatever we can. I think because we have to lead our physical life too here.
Yes, Rosni, you
Yes,
want to say
Rosni, you want
something?
to say something?
No, sir.
I'm going to say something to Rosni off the topic, what you have. Rosni, my wife is right now in your village in India, in Darbhanga.
Yeah, she yesterday she texted me and
Oh, okay.
asked her my father's name, so I text her my father's name.
Okay, yeah. So for all of you, those who are not knowing that one, we discovered that Rosni is from the same village where my wife is from. They are from the same village in Darbhanga. So yeah, she was. I was talking to her earlier in the day, which is night, and then this discussion came that she wants to know, uh, your family and all that. Small world. See, I never thought that.
Yes, yes, Trivedi.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Next month I will go there also.
Oh, okay. All right. Back to topic then.
Yes, Brenda,
Yes,
you
Brinda,
started
you
this
started this
topic
topic
in your mind.
in your
So you
mind.
want to
So
say
you want
something?
to
You
say
have any
something? You have any
question?
more question?
Hey, halla nahi karo
No,
lalla.
only for me, meditation alone is time to connection with a God, and maybe God try to say what is your fault, and which to resolve your fault in the days.
Yes.
Which is good. So there is not. There is. Uh, that is why this. What I was going to say that in the Hindu philosophy, this is always already incorporated that we are different people and our concept of God can be different. So not only that, it can be infinite ways to reach there. So there is no path, a better path or a worse path. Everything is fine as long as you don't force anybody, impose your ideas by force or by hook and crook, like Islam does it. Right? They force you to convert to Islam. That is a bad thing. That's why you see that in Hinduism, they never can push anybody to become a Hindu by force or giving some kind of bribe or giving a house or this and that, which happens in many religions. It is your personal choice. You have to discover your way of living and associating yourself with God, and it is up to you how you define the God, because God can be different things for different people. And so that flexibility is there completely because it is unknown. With nobody have a clear concept of what God is, because we have a limited sense. These five senses we have, our physical body is of these five basic elements, and it has very limited reach. And we are very finite people in this uh, human bodies, even though we have let's call it 1 million-year-old civilization overall. We have that experience, but still it is limited. We know very limited things. We don't even know all the laws which govern the uh, whole cosmos, right? And, we know few of them, and then we call them scientists, right? Newton and this and that. If they come up with a, and that's why it's very noble of I think Einstein. He said that, hey, we have just discovered a few little rocks in the ocean bed. So that's all it is. We are still taking the baby step in learning. It's so much to learn, so much. You see that how many things have changed just in our lifetime. Society was kind of stagnant. When I look at that last 10,000 years, pretty much we were stagnant. We haven't. Everybody has. If you look at what was happening in 15,000 years, the Ramayana, Indian epic, is about 15,000 years back. Astronomically, they have proved that one. Mahabharata happened about 7,000 years back. Jesus was about 2,000 years back. Buddha was 2,500 years back. So like that. Islam is about 1,400, 1,500 years back. Jewish is about older than Christianity. So let's give it a few more thousands, maybe 5,000 years old. But if you look at the society, how they were structured, you find that very common, very pattern from the what you call the civilizational point of view. You see that they had food, they were growing shelter, they were simple houses, and the common thing, I mean, they were grazing or they were raising animals. They were using wheel carts, uh, wagons driven by the ox or horses or whatever animal. So, weapons, if you look at them, very physical fight they used to do. So, everything you can see is cyclic. I mean, they are constant in all the culture. When it is like, I was giving the analogy of gold and jewelry. Sorry, gold and jewelry. So, when you look at the civilization point of view, you see that they're all common, similar things in all the culture. But what happened suddenly after the industrial revolution happened in about 16th century? Boom, steam engine changed everything. And after that, one after another, people had time because now people had some free time, so they could start thinking more. And some people started using that time in philosophy, like Indians, but Western people started using that time more into the what we call the modern physical sciences. And that's why there is a lot more research in India, mainly in the inner self, inward, because they come to conclusion that desire is you have to control the desire. Desire is the source of all problems, and it is unlimited. It is infinite. If you get something, you want something else tomorrow, just like kids want it. We are not any different. So they say that no, you have to control the desire and you have to start searching. So their advancement was in the spiritual path and inner life, psychology, you can call it. But in the Western society, we focused on the external things. And that's why we were able to discover uh, physical sciences. And then once that happened, then culture completely changed. Starting from the steam engine discovery, or understanding of the what you call astrophysics, weather pattern. They could start more planting, and they could know that when rain is happening, this that, when is a good time to do other stuff. Like they could coordinate when to start doing the building construction, because they knew that next 3 months is going to be free. We don't have to do anything because crops are growing in the field, so there is time. So every year they knew that this 3 months is a good time, summertime, when we don't have to be busy in fields. Let's start building the houses. Like that, slowly, one by one, they started developing, and so up to modern time, society was stuck for quite 10,000 years. No development. We were all society. If you look at from China to West, we all have wagons. We used to have the same sword fight, uh, arrow and bow fight everywhere. You see all the examples, uh, and some imaginary celestial weapons, but they are all imaginary, in my opinion. They were not real one. And and then now we are in the modern world. Everything is changing day after. I mean, in our lifetime, we have seen changing computer. All right, computer came first, and then what? Cell phone has come now. There are so many gadgets we cannot even remember that. So I guess what was the point I was trying to make? That yeah. So basically, society will keep changing, and we will be being more busy and busy in our life. But this cycle we have to understand. What is that? There is no end of it. It's continuous. Development will continue. If we think that it is the end of the this by this century we have discovered everything, it's never going to happen. And then like yesterday, I don't know, many of you are not there. We were talking about it. What was that, day before yesterday, or asteroid thing? That there is a chance that a asteroid will hit us, and then that's it. Hawkins, who was the great astrophysicist of our time, he said that probably we have another 150 years to figure out some other planets where we can, maybe a small group of people we can send. That way our human civilization can be somewhere else preserved, because this planet is very risky now. We can have a asteroid attack, and everything can collapse. All the lives, not only human, everything will collapse on this planet. This will shatter into pieces. I think there is a word in Sanskrit called pralay, something like that. It's supposed to happen. This is the top scientist of the modern era, Tom Hawkins, British scientist, British physicist. He's saying that one, that this is going to happen. He had been studying all his life physics, astrophysics, and he's seeing that one, that there are so many small particles which are loose particles in the space, and all it takes is a random travel of that big asteroid to planet Earth, and they will be like a big bomb to us, and then that's it. I think we were talking a few days back. I had visited one asteroid attack place in Arizona, which was 20 ton. So basically, one piece of asteroid came, and it created a lake in Arizona. I visited that site. It is a tourist place now, and if you compare that with the bomb dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, for Hiroshima bomb was about 1 megaton, and these were 20 megaton. This asteroid, which was dropped in Arizona, um, I think I forget the time when it was dropped. So uh, imagine, it was a small asteroid which dropped and created such a havoc on the planet Earth. And this is, so we are basically on the very risky planet right now. So science is trying to scratch the earth. Scientists are trying to figure it out how fast we can go, and at least we send some human being to other planet to survive in case something like that happen.
But I think that
I think that
progress.
it's a progress.
Yeah,
Till now it's
Till now,
yeah,
it's a progress route. Till now,
not a confirmed.
not a
yeah,
confirm which
exactly.
planet need to go.
Exactly. So that's what will happen. That maybe suppose if an asteroid attack happen, then we will lose the population. Maybe some place, somebody will survive, and then civilization will again start uh, going back from you know. If we survive, maybe we will have a better chance. If not, then again we'll have the whole evolution. So many millions or billion years will take, and then planet will cool down, normal life slowly, everything will start evolving, right? Like just like happened in the previous evolution. And so that's what Hindu philosophy also says, that everything is cyclic, including this all these planetary systems. They are not permanent, they all will collapse, they will collapse, some will die, some will new will survive, and this process goes on. It never ends. It, it comes back to philosophical discussion of earlier.
Yes, sir. I like
Sir,
birth,
and
birth
like
and
birth and death.
Birth and death, yeah. So
cycle.
it doesn't happen to, well, it's very, it not happens to human being, it happens to everything, including God, I would say.
Yes,
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
what time is it?
Time is
Time
Yeah,
is
good.
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
right now.
right now.
Right?
What?
Time is
Time
7 a.m.
is 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys want to continue or you want to finish now? What is the plan?
Sir, it's
Sir,
sufficient
it's a
for
sufficient
today, sir.
for today, sir.
Because we need,
I have all the time, so
yes, yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
just okay. All right.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank
you,
you,
sir.
everybody. And Rosni, if it's good if you can talk to her and make sure that they get a chance to talk, your family also or whatever. Since
Yeah,
you,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay, a small world, so stay in connection with them. They should know that I see you quite often here in the meeting. I think I know only very few people in from your village, but now it's like I know you more than anybody else in the village now. Okay, guys and ladies, talk to you later then. Good,
Okay.
good night or good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you for all.